They find out is we get them in there, they spend that time right there on the simulator, and then when we take them to the range, they actually gets very surprised. Wow, my grouping is a lot better.
Yeah.
But let's do the reverse of that. We take them to the range, and then we actually get them on the SIRT gun, which doesn't recoil.
Hey, a lot of companies waste an enormous amount of money on marketing. The design is excellent, the photos are beautiful, and your website looks great, but it's just not getting customers. Why? Because you don't have the words that make people buy. But now you can. Fix that with Sage Tree. Sage Tree can help you find the words that make it easy for your customers to understand what you do and how to buy from you. Stop wasting money today and schedule a call. Getting started is real easy. Visit sagetree.com and click on the Schedule an Appointment button. That's sagetree.com. And click away on that Schedule a Call button.
San Diego County gun owners use a Sage Tree. We use it for our a lot of stuff, our website and all kinds of cool stuff. They're very, very excellent. Rich is a good dude, so by all means, get a hold of Sage Tree. Okay, Phil. Again, thank you so much for coming in.
I appreciate it.
So let's talk about Sure Shot. I know I've been there, and I embarrassed myself on your simulator. I don't remember. I think I actually did okay.
You notice he hasn't been back since.
I think
you get
I
the
did all
holes
right.
patched up on the wall?
Yeah.
That would be doing really bad if I put holes anywhere in your.
Yeah, that would be something.
Yeah. So talk about. In fact, we were just talking off air about what was. When did you decide? Hey, I'm opening up Sure Shot. What was the catalyst? What was that magic moment?
It was it kind of started with the other company had the Security Academy that was mostly training. Security personnel, but we did training for civilians, but they just didn't know it. But I also found out when you take them to the range, shooting at that target wasn't enough. And I remember my times in the Marine Corps and working with law enforcement, we went further than that. We got out there, the simulation training, and I said, I need to teach people how to deal with those moments when they actually have to use their firearm in some defensive manner, whether it's a firearm or taser or chemical agent. So when it came out, people teased me. I've had this idea in my head for 15 years.
Wow.
And they said, wow, you finally came out about it. But when the property next door became available, I said, there it is. And you talk about the name. It's a spell on the name, Shore.
Yeah.
Because we're near the shore.
Right there in Oceanside. Yeah.
Exactly. And I said, this has got to happen. I've got to give people an opportunity where they can go to a place. If they can't get to places where they can get outside and practice that, but they can do it in a safe environment. And that first-time shooter that's kind of scared to go to the range, it's a perfect environment to start them off. And I just remember getting that. I said, this is going to happen. And put it in motion.
And there it is.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of like decision-making, too.
Yeah.
Well, and simulators now are so popular.
Yep.
Maybe 10 years ago it wouldn't have been as successful as it is now.
Right.
Now you're on your simulator all the time.
Well, and there's so how yours is huge too. It's like it's not like you don't wear goggles.
Nope.
It's like what is it, a 6-7 foot screen or?
Right. Yeah. So
describe what it is because it's really fascinating.
Right. It's just like the screen simulates the downrange portion, whether it's a regular range, outdoor range, moving target scenarios. So you actually see the impacts. You're using real firearms. So they have firearms where they actually give the same recoil that you do at the range. They get the same kick, whether it's rifle, shotgun. I have to give a disclaimer, it doesn't kick as much, but you have to rack it, do everything. So we can do 1-gun, 2-gun shoots, and you're seeing the impact and you're seeing the response. We got over 1,000 different scenarios.
Yeah, because you're looking at your screen.
Yes.
It's everything's like real time and real life looking. We should go there, Dave.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, how can we never go on a field trip?
We're going on a field trip, man. What's your week look like? We'll go down there this week or next.
I'm out of town next week, so I'm going to Napa.
Okay, well, this is way more exciting than Napa. You're going to have to cancel that trip. And
It's a 5-star trip.
all right, never mind. I was just going to take you for a sandwich after. It's not quite 5 stars. But it is very cool. Yes. I mean, you're looking at different. It's all kinds of different scenarios.
Yes.
You can actually move through a building, or you can just be on like a range where you're shooting at static targets, or there's all kinds of different things you can program.
Right, absolutely. And that's one of the things we got it to where it's just on one screen. We actually can get it in a 360. We can actually most of the time we put it in a 180, so you're looking left and right, so you're not just stuck on that lane right there. So it forces people to pay attention to their surroundings. But what I like about it It's just not about like, okay, every scenario is going to be a shooting situation. We want to teach you that. Now, let's get out of this. Let's talk my way out. And do I shoot or not shoot so I'm not going to get myself in trouble? So that's what we like. So we teach them from the beginning to talk your way out. And if you have to use it, then hit what you're shooting at because you're going to have to move.
And just don't automatically just start shooting.
Oh, no. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
And do you grade it? You grade the.
Oh, yeah. We can actually show them exactly where every shot
Like
went.
he said, I hit it.
Oh, yeah. And now we have to have it when we do the feedback. There's another camera because they'll say, well, I didn't put my hand on the gun. Let's replay that.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, I didn't know I did that. I say, yeah, that's what we want to teach you because they're going to say they did this to you because you threatened them.
Yeah, high stress. You'll be able to experience firsthand what adrenaline and stress does.
Yes.
I can't tell you, Dave, you have to experience this too. People come up to me and they'll reference something. And my first thought is, wait a minute, how do they know this? I don't remember saying that. And it's something I said on the radio. I don't even remember. You know what I mean?
Oh, no,
I don't even remember because you're like in the moment and, you know.
Well, going back to what you're talking about too, simulation. When I was in the military,
Right.
I did we did a maneuver where I was one of 5 bad guys in the company, and I had an M60.
Yep.
I got so wrapped up in that.
Yes.
I mean, we knew it wasn't real. We knew the ammo wasn't real.
Right.
But just once you get into it, and it doesn't take much. I mean, so I totally get it. That was a long. In fact, I even jumped over a little 3-foot wall and fell 48 feet.
Wow.
With my M60.
Wow. 48 feet down?
Didn't let it go, though.
Or you just kind of rolled 48
I
feet?
just crashed. Then I got poison oak and that's another story I want to say. But the simulation, I've not forgotten it to this day.
Yep.
It made such an impression. So I could see you just need to get people out there. And I think your program, for all the naysayers out there,
Yes.
that's what you need to do. Look, hey, we're not shooting bullets.
Right.
Just come on in. It's like a game.
Yes, it
Let's
is.
see how well you do.
And we get that when it's kind of like when people come and they say, oh, simulator, and they get that look. I said, just humor me.
Yeah.
And then they do great with shooting at the targets like they normally do. Then we start getting their critical thinking. We have a shoot, no shoot.
Decision making. Yep.
You shot the person with the phone.
Yeah. Why'd you do that? See, that's where you should get politicians.
Yes.
Democrats, Republicans,
Absolutely.
get Newsom to come down. I mean, and
Newsom.
Well, especially the hardcore anti-gun folks.
Exactly.
And if you could get them in there,
Yep.
wow, that sounds like.
And we've had some people that say, oh, I'm not into this. And then when they leave, they said, this is not like I thought. I see it in a different light.
It's exactly.
It's not a simulator, it's a stimulator.
Right.
There you go.
Oh, it is that. Let me tell you, it's a stimulator.
So curious, so obviously your focus is there's going to be an emphasis on decision making, right? Proper, awareness and all of that. Is there any negative feedback that they receive for bad decisions or poor actions in the scenarios?
Yeah, what they end up doing is when we review it, we actually show them, we play that video back, and
learning
we can
opportunity.
stop it. I said, I'm going to do it just like they're going to do in court because that 3 to 5 seconds that you took, we're breaking it down.
There you go.
So we feed back to them, and what we tell them is that these are not mistakes, these are learning curves.
There you go.
Because you won't forget this, and when you go out there, you won't make the same mistake.
That's good. I like it.
Exactly.
And he has a cattle prod.
Well, that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping for that.
Well, I got to tell you, I talked to a fair amount of people who are looking for an attorney. They were in some kind of defensive gun use situation, something like that. Some of them had a CCW. Some of them didn't. Some of them have the insurance. Some of them don't. But I talked to a lot of people. And, of course, if you go on, like, John Correa,
Active self-protection.
active self-protection, they have defensive gun use. You watch hundreds of those. What I don't really hear a lot about and what I don't see a lot of is people messing up marksmanship. What they mess up is for lack of a better term, their behavior, what they did or didn't do. Exactly. And I do think one thing I've been talking about in some of the lectures where we teach people how to get a CCW is that there's too much. We're putting too much emphasis on the marksmanship, and that decision-making piece, Phil, is enormous. When the people I talk to are in the middle of a case, when they're being investigated, when they're dealing with the district attorney, You know, it's not, hey, did you hit the target or not? It's, well, why did you do this? Or why did you do that? Or why did you pull it there? Or why did you blah, blah, blah? Or what's the fit?
Exactly.
That's the important stuff. I really, truly, there was just a case very recently. All charges were dismissed, and they did a good job. No shots were fired. But some of the decisions made could have been better. Correct. And he was half a decision away from
going to jail,
serious problems. Yeah. And it's not because he's a bad person. He's not. You know, people who carry aren't bad people. It's you're under stress and you're dealing with the most basic and therefore, you know, the most passionate part of human existence, which is existence. Yes. You know, when you're like in fear for your life, your very existence, you're going to make some bad decisions. And what's the saying? You fall back on you don't rise to the occasion. You
sink to your lowest level of training.
Sink to your lowest level of training.
Yep,
so
that's true.
This decision making thing, you know, that I think we gotta.
That's what you gotta push for.
We really do. 16,000 CCW holders and counting. It's going to be 17,000 soon. It's going to be 20,000 soon. It's going to be. This is great, but now's the time. You know, we need to get you need to have 16,000 customers. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Well, what needs to happen every time you get a CCW, you got to take the class.
Well, yeah. There you
I
go.
mean, and have the government pay for it. Well, because they're charging you. How many different scenarios?
I wish you'd been the fourth candidate for Congress.
How many different scenarios?
We have over 1,000 different scenarios, but each one of them have 5 to 6
right
outcomes.
So I mean, there's
about
nothing.
5,000.
So no way anybody's going to say, "Oh well."
Right.
Yeah.
No.
And you don't have to spend it. They don't waste ammo.
Nope. No ammo. You know.
But I'm serious. I'd send an invitation to Governor Newsom.
I think it should be done.
Wouldn't it be? What's he going to do if we publicly gave him an invitation?
I like that.
Do a little press conference in front of Short Shot.
That's it.
Well, yep.
You know, just say, hey, we want you to come down. You're the governor.
You know, Dave, I'm not even joking. That's the wheels are spinning. That's actually not a bad idea.
No, because hey, if you're going to make a decision, that's like saying, do you like broccoli? Ugh, I can't stand broccoli. Oh,
Never tried
have
it.
you ever ate it?
Never
No.
tried it.
It's
Right.
exactly. You know what? A lot of companies waste an enormous amount of money on marketing. The design is excellent. The photos are beautiful. But your website just, you know, it looks great, but it's just not getting customers. Why? Because you don't have the words to make people buy. Didn't I do this commercial?
Yeah, you did, but keep going.
But you know what? You can fix that with SageTree. SageTree can help you find the words that make it easy for your customers to understand what you do and how to buy from you. Stop wasting money today and schedule a call. Getting started.
Yeah.
Getting started.
It's even harder the second time, isn't it?
I know. Visit SageTree.com. Click on that schedule appointment button. SageTree.com and click on that schedule appointment button.
You know, San Diego County gun owners use a Sage Tree.
I can't believe
Deja vu.
I know. I'm sitting there going,
That's all right.
didn't I? I know it's last Sunday.
You did. That's all right. You know what? We're gonna edit this part out. No one's gonna hear this.
Yeah, no one's going to hear
It's
this.
almost like you forgot you did that last week too.
We're good to go.
I think I did.
You do it
Phil,
every
this is gonna be left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
It's gonna sound
We have
perfect.
a very large cutting room floor.
When we send the recording over live, it'll be.
It'll be a 3-minute radio show in 2 hours. Don't think nothing of it.
So how does it work with Sure Shot? Like, do you make an appointment? Are there classes? Like, how does it work?
But you can do both. You can do appointments. Right now, we have it to where Monday through Thursdays appointments only.
Monday through Thursday appointments only.
Right, and then we're open on Friday. Friday we open from 2 to 9, and then 10 to 9 on Saturdays and 10 to 6 on Sundays. But you can make appointments any day, usually with the exception of Mondays, because Mondays we usually have kind of like call it maintenance and making sure everything's good to go.
Okay, so you don't have to. You can be someone fresh off the street. You can make an appointment.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What
Can you
kind
give
of
it-
hours? I like that.
Yeah. Give me an idea. Like what's the price range look like?
Well, we go by the time frame. So for 35 minutes, you could the price for one person is the same price for two people. For $60, 35 minutes, you come in there and it's just continuous shooting.
And you do it for 35 minutes to see if you're not exhausted
Oh,
at the
yeah.
end of that 35 minutes.
We get people to come there 35 minutes, and then after 20 minutes, they're shrugging their
Yeah.
shoulders because it's constant shooting. They realize it's not when I go in with my friend, we're switching back and forth. And then for an hour, it's $100. That does if you want to include like that's the firearms and recoil. Gets you 400 shots. You get 400 rounds for $30. So you can't beat that. And when they get in there, it's just like shooting the real thing, the recoil, and people get pleasantly surprised.
And you don't have to clean your gun.
No.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to clean your gun. You go from there.
You have a discount for military?
Military
First responders?
weekends are the best time for the military. Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays, they get 20% off.
Okay.
On regular days, it's 10% off. Members for gun owners, they get 10% off.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's really generous.
What about old people?
10% off.
What about girls?
10% off.
You're sick.
So if you're in the military and you're old and a girl, you don't have to. You're just there for
It's
free.
free.
They
They're
pay
there
you
for
to be
free.
there.
We just start adding it up.
That's awesome.
Do you have
Phil,
any
that
kind
do
of
that.
clubs,
Yep,
where
we actually
people
have.
will join and maybe some
Absolutely.
competition?
Yeah, we do have members. They have different levels. They start with a basic level that can be from like $50 a month, to the premium level where it's going to be over $300 a month. Where they come in twice a week, but it also includes we take them to the range and do live fire. And what happens is no matter what level, we end up doing an extra hour of actual training for home defense and shooting. Like we did our one members one time. We told them and said, hey, let's talk about defending your loved ones, shooting with one hand and moving. And they were very pleasantly surprised to be able to do that.
That's an interesting question I just thought of. What's the difference, or have you noticed a difference between, how well someone does on the simulator and how well they do in live fire? Is there like they're about 10% different or whatever? Or is it different for everybody? Because I've noticed that it's very realistic.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine there's almost no delta, but is there?
Yeah, it's what they find out is we get them in there, they spend that time right there on the simulator, and then when we take them to the range, they actually gets very surprised. Wow, my grouping is a lot better.
Yeah.
But let's do the reverse of that. We take them to the range, and then we actually get them on the CERT gun, which doesn't recoil, and then sometimes they realize they're anticipating. So it works both ways, and then pretty soon they start realizing I'm not doing that. But then it also teaches them for defensive purpose, learn how to move.
Yeah.
Because if we're defending ourselves, we're not staying in one place. And we make a joke when they shoot and they do those simulations. I go over there and I pull at their feet, and they say, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm checking for the glue in the nails because you didn't move, and that's what you want to do."
That's awesome.
But, yeah.
What a great! If you beat Sam the Gunman, you get 35 minutes.
There you go.
Oh, that's a good idea.
There you go.
Well, instead of giving him away a hat or a shirt,
Dave, you're full of good ideas today,
I know,
man.
aren't
Would
I,
you
though?
have
Don't you-
Wheaties before? Or what?
Don't use them all up in one day, though.
Yeah.
I
Spread
know,
them
but
out.
it's typical. Well, have you ever heard Sam the Gunman?
Yes.
You're not going to have anybody come to your
I know.
range,
Yes.
but
Yes.
Well, at least we'll talk about it.
but I think that's a great idea to throw back to him.
Yes.
Get some people to come in.
Absolutely.
I think it's awesome. And you also do, gosh, correct me if I'm wrong, you're also a CCW instructor.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so it's not just the simulator. You teach actual classes.
Yeah, teach actual class, and we do the CCW and also the exposed weapon for security officers. And then
good to know, yeah.
For anybody that just home defense as well.
Okay, cool. Gosh, kind of a one-stop shop.
Number
Yes.
3,
Number 3, good idea.
KUSI. Get Jason Austell to go to his range
Yeah.
and do an actual.
You know what? I got a better idea. Same thing.
Same
It's still
line.
your idea. We get KUSI. We get ABC, NBC, CBS. We get local
that's
Fox.
even better.
We get OAN. OAN's right here in town.
Yeah, I know.
And then you remember on Anchorman when they all met and had this big,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wouldn't that be something?
Well, let's do it at Phil's
There you go.
simulator.
Then you'd get all the TV coverage in San Diego.
Do you guys have like a simulator for a trident? If one of them brings a trident, because I mean that was that's probably not.
That's something we
So
can
that-
think about.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
gonna
if you
talk to them
invite,
tomorrow.
You could have a whole news off.
See, that's another thing. When you invite these news, say we're having a media day,
Yes.
and invite them,
Yep.
and I think
That would be cool, right?
Well, it'd be the cheapest and the easiest way to get the word out.
Get the word out. Yes.
No. I wonder so maybe we make them pick. We got one person from each station.
Well, no, that's what you do.
go.
You
You
said
know?
we have you delegate
Who would it be? It'd be Jason.
It'd be Jason.
It'd be Jason from KUSI, and then
I don't-
Artie
but-
Ojeda from
Yeah.
NBC. I don't know. I have no
But
idea
I
if
could
he's
just
ever
see
even touched
Paul
me.
Rudy will want to do it. Mark Mathis would want to do it, but you'd have to put him in a straitjacket.
So is it like who volunteers for tribute from each station and they battle?
Yes.
See who does
There you
best?
go.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like it.
Battle the
We
inkers.
can we have a leaderboard that they can actually compete for that too. I guess specifically just
All
for
you
them.
have to do is put together a media blast.
Yep.
And then send it to all of and everybody has a planner at the station, and say, and it's just, and then you go to the website. It'll say, you got an idea for a segment, and that's who you send
There
it
you
to.
go.
So, or either that, or hell, I'm thinking about stealing it and using you, and just kind of.
Well,
I might just coordinate
'Cause
this.
you've
This
been to
sounds
all
like
the
fun.
stations, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, then you'd be a
let's do that.
perfect representative.
Yeah, right. Well, let me
Come
see what we
beat
can do.
Michael Schwartz.
No, we're not gonna do that. We'll have him beat Alicia. She might actually have a chance of.
Oh, she'll win.
I'll get all scared and throw the gun down and run out crying. It'll be
That's
embarrassing for
okay.
everybody.
We'll rig it.
There you go. So what did you, by the way, what did you do for the Marine Corps? You were in for how many years?
21 years.
Wow. And what did you do for the Marine Corps?
Could work backwards. My last job was I was the trainer for the MPs.
Oh, wow.
For the
cool.
last 3.5 years prior to that, I was 3 years. I was the range chief for the Edson Range there. So I was in charge of all the training.
Were you in, did you spend most of your time in the Corps here in San Diego?
No, just the last 7 years. Most of the time it was on the East Coast or traveling out there in other countries.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What was was San Diego your favorite place?
I would say that. I ended up staying here. Got here in 91. I haven't left.
Yeah.
And
That's
this
awesome.
California was home.
Did you love the Marine Corps?
I love the Marine Corps.
What'd you love about it?
You know what?
food?
Oh yeah, the food was great. Couldn't wait to get there. No, it was. I would say, you know what? It's just experience of the people. It's kind of like high school. You know,
Yeah.
nobody really loved high school. They just remember the people that was
Right.
part of it and everything.
See, and that's what a lot of people do not understand. That was my MOS.
Oh yeah,
Okay, but people don't understand. It has nothing to do with who you are, where you came from,
Right.
what color.
Yep.
None of it.
That's it.
Because we would all back each other,
Exactly.
no matter what.
Yep.
Well, that's cool, man. Would you recommend it? Like, if who would you recommend joining the Marine Corps? Coming out of high school, who would you recommend? Hey, man, you need to go, or woman, you need to go into the Marine Corps.
You know, I always write this as a person is looking for some guidance because the military helped me get to where I am now. You know, like
It'll
that.
whip you into shape in the first 3 weeks.
Oh my goodness, it's discipline and all the other things. Like teach you how to stick to it and everything like that. You get through that, you can get through
First time
anything.
they shaved your head.
Yeah.
You're definitely you end up because they do it intentionally. That
Yes.
way everybody is exactly
the same.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I tell kids, if you don't have a goal, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not going to go to college, not going to go to trade school,
Yep.
and you're just kind of lost chasing girls all the time, then you need to join the military. And trust me, they'll test you.
Oh, yeah.
They'll put you in a category that they'll get the best out of you,
That's right.
and then it's up to you to improve.
Exactly.
Have you been down to the museum? Yeah, down at the on the where they do the training, the Marine Corps training. They have the museum, the Marine
Oh
Corps
yeah.
Museum.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of
You were down there?
Oh yeah, I got a tour a few years ago from one of the docents. He took me around. It was actually really interesting. He was Vietnam era, and he's a docent just for fun. He loved doing it. And there are a lot of pictures in the museum.
Yes.
A lot of old pictures. And I said, hey, has anybody ever come and done a tour and said, oh, hey, there's a picture of me? Well, he ran across the room, and there was a black and white 6-foot picture of a bunch of Marines. I think they were either getting on or off a ship in Vietnam. I can't remember if they were leaving or coming. I think they were leaving. And there was a picture of the back of a guy's head. And he said, I was working here 3 years, and I turned and looked at that picture and realized that's me.
Oh.
It's the back of his head.
No kidding.
Yeah, so it was really, really cool. He was such a great dude. It's a really, really interesting museum. It's really well done. I think it's, like I said, it's one of San Diego's best kept secrets. That museum.
Yeah, and it is. A lot of people don't know about it, and I was happy to get a chance to go down there.
That's killer.
Maybe we'll do we should do a Gun Owners Radio museum day or
Do a
something. Like
meeting down there, or a 10 ringer.
that. Or if we do a meeting, that'd be cool.
That's
I'll bet you we
4.
could.
That's 4.
Ah, no kidding.
I think I better.
Wait a minute, that was my idea. You can't just steal my. That's not.
But
That's
I
my
had
one,
you.
not
But
your
I had
4.
you. I actually had you.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. If you're watching mainstream media, you're not getting the truth about guns. Gun Owners Radio is the easiest way to stay on top of the Second Amendment fight, the fight for your self-defense rights. You can watch our live stream on YouTube every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, or if you're in San Diego, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform. Just search Gun Owners Radio and you'll find our show. Like and subscribe to help defend and restore the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.